Greetings, aloha in Lakesh, and namaste, because you have everything to gain. It's been a very interesting day. It happens to be my second birthday as a walk-in, and I awoke to a nursery rhyme that came into my mind. So I thought, how many people have heard these children's nursery rhymes and ever had them explained what they really mean? So I thought I'd give you a breakdown of this one. It's quite an interesting journey of discovery. It is called Esaw, Esaw. It's a very short little rhyme, but it's very revealing. And it goes like this. I saw Esau sitting on a seesaw. I saw Esau kissing Kate. The fact is we all three saw. For I saw him and he saw me, and she saw, I saw, Esau. Well, sounds like just a rhyme, but is it? Let's have a look at what Esau is. We could perhaps suggest the vowel shift has come into play, that the E sound has changed from an I, which would change it to I saw, your first I, for example. This is all metaphorical, like all these supposedly innocent nursery rhymes. Ring a ring a roses, we all fell down, refers back to the plague, a pocket full of posies, but to keep the smell of rotting bodies out from your nostrils, for example. Rather unpleasant one, that one, so we won't dwell on that. So we'll go back to Esau. So famously, of course, Esau is the twin brother of Jacob in Genesis. So I'm going to just read that to you now. So we're going to look at Genesis chapter 25, verses 23 through to 33. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red, all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hands took hold on Esau's heel. And his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau, because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob, and Jacob sod pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore his name was called Edom. And Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, Swear to me this day. And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Now the thing to remember with scriptures is it is all metaphorical and allegorical. We are not talking about anything external. This is all going on within oneself. So if I'll go back over these verses again, 23 through to 33. 2 nations are in thy womb. Well, that's your twin serpents, basically. That's what it's talking about. The womb being the place of the sun. One people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Now that might sound very strange if you're thinking about how things are passed from to the eldest son first, traditionally. But of course this is all a twist. What it is actually talking about when it is talking about Esau and Jacob, it is talking about two states of mind. Esau is the elder one because it is referring to the outer man, whereas Jacob is referring to the inner man. And the first came out red, all over like an hairy garment. Well, that is exactly what Esau means in Hebrew. It means hairy. It is describing the outer man. And when I say man, of course, we are talking about generic man in both the form of man and woman. But the inner man, your soul, is not covered in hair. This is why the outer man, the Esau, comes first, because the soul is then planted within that vessel. This is why the first came out red, because it is you have blood circulating around the human body. And then it mentions about, in verse 26, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel. Then it says about their father Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. Well, this is talking about your second Saturn return again. And then it mentions in verse 27 that Jacob, a plain man, dwelling in tents. Well, a tent, if you think about the shape of it, is very much like a pyramid. It is talking, as depicted on the US $1 bill, the pyramid with the eye. That is the same shape, basically, as a tent. So just reading on here. It says, Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with the same red pottage, for I am faint. This is asking, this is a dialogue within your mind. It is talking about wanting the spiritual food. This is what it is asking for here. And Jacob said in verse 31, sell me this day thy birthright. This is again referring to letting go and allowing the Christ consciousness within you, your intuition, your gut feeling that is guiding you all the time on your path. So, of further interest to this, in the nursery rhyme it says, I saw Esau kissing Kate. Well, Kate is derived from Catherine, which is a Greek name, and it means each of the two and pure. It also means torture and far away. So this is whether you reject the Jacob within you and remain as the Esau, or whether you surrender the physical vessel over to the wisdom and the power of the Christ consciousness within inside you. Jacob means supplanter. The spiritual meaning is follow, heal, or supplant. Remember that you have the reference to Jacob holding on to the heel of Esau. So it's the soul holding on to the outer vessel. This is why it is has the spiritual meaning of supplant. Now, in this literal story, the father is called Isaac, which means to laugh, or he will rejoice, and their mother Rebecca means to tie up, to secure. So hopefully this will now start to make even more sense as to what this biblical story is telling you. It's not an historical or literal story at all. It is all about what is going on within inside you. Now, interestingly, when we look at the metaphysical meaning of Jacob, which I've pulled up on a website, Truth Unity Net. I'll put the link in the description. It gives a little bit more on this. It's almost giving away this allegorical meaning to all of this. The metaphysical meaning of Jacob, heel catcher, supplanter, leaving behind, bringing to an end, recompensing, rewarding. It is basically referring to when you find the keys to the kingdom of the Creator, which is your own wonderful human imagination, it will all be given to you. There is the recompensing, there is the rewarding. Jacob and Esau represent the mental and the animal consciousness. So basically, again, it's telling you that it's referring to the inner and the outer man. Esau, the hairy man, typifies the animal, which comes first into expression. It's the outer garment that everybody else sees. Most of the human family let him rule in consciousness, but in line of human unfoldment, this man of nature, Esau, must be supplanted by a higher type called Jacob, the supplanter, the mentality or understanding. Jacob also represents an idea of the I am identity, through which the faculties of the mind receive their original inspirations. Jacob had 12 sons, to each of whom he gave an office, and each of whom he blessed or inspired with his spiritual wisdom. Well, these are your 12 houses, your 12 zodiacs, the 12 suns within inside your human vessel. So it's all very revealing. So if we then go back to the nursery rhyme, I saw Esau sitting on a seesaw, I saw Esau kissing Kate. Well, Kate is the pure. It's the divine feminine and the divine masculine. The fact is we all three saw, for I saw him and he saw me, and she saw, I saw Esau. So it is all referring, even within that nursery rhyme, to your trinity, your divine masculine, your divine feminine, your conscious and your unconscious, and the power and wisdom of the Christ consciousness in your mind. You'll notice where I read out about the metaphysical meaning of Jacob, it mentions Jacob also represents an idea of the I am identity, through which the faculties of the mind receive their original inspirations. So the faculties, it is where that word has been twisted to mean something to do with higher education, but you can see where all these words have been borrowed and twisted and given new meaning in the physical. But this is all about the metaphysical. It's amazing what comes out. You can also think of the seesaw. It's the scales, it's the balance between the two. It is finding that center point between the divine masculine and the divine feminine, where you are master of your own vessel, when you fully understand and you fully understand that the I am is within you, the Creator, your own wonderful human imagination. Science, the seance, talks about an ever-expanding universe. Well, that is the consciousness, because again, that has been twisted to mean something else. So where is the limit of this expansion? That is what you will allow in your mind. How far you will let your own wonderful human imagination take you. I shall endeavour to add 3 photos that I've taken today, because today it is a wonderful day. It is 2 years ago today I was planted as a walk-in into this vessel, and fulfilling a contract with the soul that was in this vessel before, who just didn't want to be here, was very disillusioned. So Like all walk-ins, we have to fulfill the contract, as it were, in our constricted forms, and this vessel has a purpose here, as do all your vessels. But, like the song says, you can check out any time you like, but you can never leave. So the physical body cannot leave this realm. This is the Hotel California, by the way. You cannot... well, you can check out. The soul can say, I don't want to be here anymore, and then another soul will walk in and carry on and pick up the pieces and fulfill the obligations and then lead on an intended path. There is nothing made that was not made. And this is all a great script being played out. But you can master the part you wish to play in this script when you start seeing the inner and the outer screens around you. And it is all about staying between the two. I will talk about this more in further videos, but I think there's plenty here to be going on with from something that which seems to be such an innocent and meaningless children's nursery rhyme. But like all the nursery rhymes, they do have a far deeper meaning than our parents ever told us. Ta-ta for now.